And again, just to remind everyone and welcome for recording purposes, please stay muted if you're not speaking, but feel free to come off mute if you have a question or put in the chat. Again, this session will be recorded for education purpose in the future. And I'm not gonna hand it over to Jess, who is going to be doing a quick introduction of herself and going over some resources that PG&E have available. Again, this presentation is sponsored and thanked to the partnership with PG&E who make this possible. So Jess?
Thank you, Leo. Can you confirm I'm sharing my screen?
Yes, you are.
Okay, just a little inside information. I can't really see what's going on in the meeting when I'm sharing my screen. So a little grace on my side, first of all, as we typically default to Microsoft Teams, so it's a little new to me. But I am Jess English, a senior consultant for supply chain responsibility for Pacific Gas and Electric. I have worked for PG&E for about 6 years now in a few departments. In my current role within the company, I am responsible for the Supplier Diversity Technical Assistance Program, where I manage and coordinate supplier diversity events to connect small and diverse businesses with PG&E. I have been charged to oversee the development and engagement on PG&E's new online learning management system that we'll be talking about today.
And Rose, Jess, sorry, just a moment, just to remind everyone. So Jess will be going over the management system, but then we will have WRMSDC going over the MBE certification for those of you that will be interested on that as well.
Yes.
Sorry, Jess.
I won't take all of your time. Just a tool that I'd like to share with you all today. I'd also like to provide a little bit of background about PG&E. I know most of you are probably familiar, but if not, PG&E was incorporated in 1905. It is one of the largest combined natural gas and electric energy companies in the United States. PG&E provides approximately 16 million people throughout a 70,000 square foot mile service in the Northern and Central California. We have had a supplier diversity program in place since 1981. Sharing on the screen now are the 2022 supplier diversity performance. PG&E spent nearly $4.8 billion or 39.3% with diverse suppliers. And why we're most proud about this is our highest recorded number. So we're really proud to share that with everyone and continue to build off of that. We currently have 600 active diverse suppliers. And if you want to find more information, you can go to the CPUC's annual report, or you can also find this at pgne.com/supplier diversity. So what is the TAP Learning Management System? That's what I'm here to share with you. This is a free resource developed by PG&E for small and diverse businesses like yourself. We launched the program officially in March in 2022. We worked with industry experts to provide courses that will give you insights, best practices, real-world examples that you can use to grow your business capabilities. It is a free online platform that gives you the opportunity to connect anywhere while going at your own pace. The courses are interactive, questions, time to reflect, along with workbooks and templates so you can react, plan, and develop ideas for your business, personalized to you. And I want to invite you all, if you would like to follow along, you can scan the QR code, which is on my right side of the screen. I'm not sure which side it is for you. Or you can open it up on a second browser at pgetap.com. And I'll just give you a second for those who are taking advantage of that. Okay. And once you go to either scanning it or going to the website itself, you will default to a registration process. We tried to make this very simple: first name, last name, nickname, email address. And once you register to the site, it will allow you access to the courses, to the community, which I will talk to a little bit later in the presentation, to our newsletter. And why we asked for this registration, it has to do with the on-demand piece of it for course completion. So if you stop during one of the courses, you can go back to it. But we're not going to sell or use that personal information for anything other than that. We really tried to keep it minimal to not discourage anyone getting past the registration process. From there, you'll see the homepage navigation. Oops, sorry, my slide went a little bit fast. You'll see the courses tab to the top left, and this is where we house our courses, self-explanatory. The About tab after that, and that'll give you a little bit of background information on PG&E itself and other technical assistance programs that we offer through PG&E. The Resources tab, we put kind of the work for you. Our instructors provide resource links, books, anything that they hold of value, and we collectively placed under this resource, so you don't have to go back opening up a bunch of courses to gain that. And the Contact tab, this is if you have any technical issues or any questions strategic to the course that you want to provide that insight. My contract team is very responsive. I will just say, if you have a question regarding your bill, that's not the one. You'll still have to call the customer service line, unfortunately. I've had a few people try and loop around on that one, but very responsive. Yes.
It looks like Tony Mallory has her hand raised.
Okay, I'm sorry, I cannot see. Yes, Tony.
Yeah, hi, Jess. I was inquiring because when I did the QR code and I tried to apply on this account, it states that my email address is already registered because it's registered with PG&E already. So is there another section that I have to go into for this?
Did more than one person get that? Tina, you did? Can you say it again, what it's stating? Your email address is already registered?
Take yours down, Marcia.
Yes.
So I already have a PG&E account.
Yeah, so
I did the QR code and it says that this email is already registered. Choose another one.
I'm going to follow up with that because that should not be your default message. Your customer service account with PG&E, not the same. You have to create a new account. This is a different entity. Are you trying to register with the account that you use for your online bill pay?
No, I just hit the QR code that you asked us to do, and I went through the process. And as I did that, but I don't want to take too much time. Maybe I'll call you offline on that.
Yeah, no, this is really good feedback because we've never had that happen before. So yeah. I'm going to take that down, and I'll ask Leo to provide me any email addresses, maybe I don't want to put it in the chat and make it public, but I'll ask Leo, and I'm going to follow up with that directly, and then I'll email you personally, everyone that's getting that issue, and I'll get this taken care of. Thank you for raising that.
Thank you.
Okay. So we currently have 16 courses on the site ready for you to take advantage of. The courses are on demand, meaning you can stop and come back and pick up wherever you left off. We know as a business owner, your free time is limited. So we wanted to take that into consideration. The courses on the site are going to take you anywhere from 16 minutes to 120 minutes. And we are taking some feedback that people thought that the courses took a little bit longer and going towards micro trainings at 60 minutes. But what I want to say of why there can be a longer duration is because of the workbooks. So when you're stopping and you're planning and designing something for you, that's time that we wanted to take into consideration. And so when you see those longer duration of time, that's where it's coming from. It's not going to be someone talking to you for 2 hours. That's not the intention. So first course, a lot of our courses come in 2 modules because there was so much great content from the instructors that we tried to break it up versus piling it all into one course, either cutting it down or just making the course too long that somebody couldn't get through. So for disaster preparedness, we have 2 sections, and that is going to be the basics of developing an emergency action plan, the EAP, and then developing a COVID-19 prevention plan. We have Go Global, and that's going to be strategies for diverse suppliers to compete in the global marketplace, and developing a Go Global strategy playbook. Cybersecurity, that's going to be the basics, self-assessment roadmap, and using maturity models to build cybersecurity. Future-proofing your business, this is only a single module, and that's fundamentals to innovation. Environmental sustainability, this is an introduction, the basics, and developing an environmental management system, an EMS. Crisis communication, the basics of crisis communication, and then developing a crisis communication plan for your business. Our latest course, which I'm pretty passionate about, and that is Introduction to Business Relationship Models. And secondary to that is strategies for unlocking subcontracting opportunities. Coming up next month, we'll be having 2 new modules hit the LMS, and that will be Supplier Code of Conduct, Insight and Overview, and then RFP Readiness will be coming out in June. So a little insight to our latest module courses, Introduction to Business Relationship Models by Sheila Bright. If you haven't had the honor of meeting her, she is just amazing. I can't tell you too many great things about Sheila. Within the content, you will find lessons, short videos, key takeaways, resources, and quizzes. To get the most out of your course, you'll watch the videos and then follow side by side within your workbook. For this course, competing for corporate contracts means leveraging all the knowledge, tools, and resources available to you. Sheila explains the process for her 4-step framework, which is understanding supply chains and their goals, understanding requirements for being a supplier, considering all business relationship models, and strategies and tools for unlocking or uncovering opportunities. It's a great course. I can't tell you so many great things about it. Following that, Sheila produced module 2, and that's strategies for unlocking subcontracting opportunities, which focuses on subcontracting and explains how to analyze your capabilities and readiness to win contracts, then plan and implement your actions. You will learn how to map supply chains and research companies to uncover new business opportunities and real-life examples, tools, and resources to execute on that plan. So key takeaways, ask yourself, are you ready to go global? Do your employees know which safety procedures to follow in case of emergency? What if you were suddenly hacked and you had a data breach? What if one of your employees does something that could damage your reputation and goes viral? We've seen that happen. Or what impact does your business have on the environment? The best way to get the most out of these courses is by completing the workbooks that have been designed for you. These are 4 examples on the screen of the key takeaways as you go through those courses and then put that groundwork into action. For me, these are interactive, so you do not have to print. I have 2 screens, so it's a little bit easier for me, where I can write on one side and watch the video on the other, and then just go step by step. But if you want to print it out, download it, save it. If you're a pen to paper type of thinker, easily can be done as well. They're not like 20-page workbooks. They're key focused. So I think that's a tangible item. So following each course, you will see a certificate of completion. And one key takeaway, a little bit of weight that I look at this, is each course that you take is tied into the community, which I will talk about here in a second. And that gives you kind of weight through your profile. For me, if I'm going to search through your profile, maybe I'm a business owner, I'm looking, to hire, I want to know, has this person taken the sustainability course? Do they have a plan in action? And I can easily see that without digging in too much to your profile because it is attached. So great pieces for that. So following the enrollment of your first course, you will be invited, it's a private community, to join the PG&E TAP LMS. The reason why that we made it specific to someone who enrolls in a course is because we want to ensure that it's not just general public kind of going in and spamming or, the comments or taking information. So that is why we have made it private, but it's very simple. Once you utilize the tool, you're completely bypassing that. So the community, it might look a little bit familiar to you. We try to get a general layout of what other social media sites such as Facebook would look like. It's an inclusive space to bring small and diverse business owners to learn, grow, and build community. As mentioned, small and diverse is our target audience, although anyone can join because it is a free resource, but that's really what we're trying to build on. We want you to exchange ideas, exchange experiences, and continue to learn from industry experts and other business owners in real time. You have the opportunity to customize your profile. And for me, as I'm searching through it, your bio you can put in there, a capability statement link you can attach to that, and then all the courses that you've taken. I go through there and I search for people, and I want to have that information readily available. So we give you the option to customize. And a lot of our instructors are on the site as well. So you'll have the ability to reach out directly. If you see to the right of the screen, that is my team. They're awesome. And so we're present within the community as well. So if you have a specific question regarding this training, reach out. That's what they're there for. And that's how we want to engage. I know it's a little bit small, but if you see to the right, you'll see groups. And each time you take a course, you're invited to that private group, and our instructors typically lead that group where you can ask them direct questions, provide feedback, or really just lean on each other. What has another business owner done when they've gone viral for the wrong reasons? Take that into consideration and talk to your community members. So I really love this piece of it. We're not only providing the training part to it, but we're really trying to provide the networking part together. And as mentioned, it is private, so we really try to monitor what's going on, but still provide a safe space for engagement, because that's really what we want you to do. So another piece to the community is our monthly coffee chats. So we get together on the last Friday of the month with my team and myself. I lead the coffee chat, and I just open up the opportunity to allow others to raise questions, to talk about what's going on, maybe the conference, maybe they, have a business related question, or maybe they're really just want to talk. So 30 minutes on the last Friday of the month. We really just want to be present in what's going on, and there for our small and diverse business owners and the opportunities that are available. So I hope you join us. The next one is actually this Friday on the 28th at 11 a.m. So if you go in, you take the course, you join the community, you'll see a coffee chat registration right there in the newsfeed. And then you can join us this Friday to raise questions. That's after I get your email addresses fixed. So I do apologize about that. Any questions for me?
Just a reminder for those of you that want to ask questions, you can enable your microphone, come off mute, or if you don't feel brave enough, you can definitely post it in the chat section.
Yes, Jess, I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is this whole thing specifically for doing business with PG&E?
So this is a separate entity. This is being competitive and ready to do business in general, not specific to PG&E. Our sourcing side is not tied into the technical assistance piece. but I can tell you as a supplier to PG&E, cybersecurity, sustainability, these are all topics that are necessary. So it's a tool to become ready to do business.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And again, just a reminder to everyone, if you want to ask questions, feel free to come off mute or post it in the chat section. While other ask questions, Jess, if you could please go back and remind us, who is this for?
Our target audience are small and diverse business owners.
And the benefits, the why. I think you touched that a little bit in becoming ready, but anything else you can think of or share of the why or why the small business would like to go through this?
Oh, for our why? Well, our hopes are to expand on our diverse suppliers. So we want to give the tools that we believe are going to prepare those to do business, because as we have thought about these key courses, that's what we were targeting. As a supplier, what background are we going to ask for? So we want to have or provided a competitive edge.
Okay, so I have a question. So my business, I run an ATM company where I provide ATMs to different locations, things like that. And I also run a coaching company, executive leadership coaching. Do my businesses apply to PG&E or to apply to this?
I don't think, like, for business with PG&E, I don't think the ATM part would, but coaching, what I can say, if you have interest on if your field would apply, I can provide you an email address, supplier diversity team at pge.com. If you have a capability statement, and then I can find out who leads the different lines of business for that. It's not a single person. We break up our lines of business because it would be overwhelming.
And sorry, that's supplier diversity team.
Yes, give me 1 second and I can put it in the chat.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen because it's just our Q&A on there. And then I can grab that.
Thanks, Jess. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Antonio, sorry. Tony had her hand raised. Can we go to her first and then we can go to you, Antonio?
Yeah, I guess my question is, you're saying supplier, what, maybe I kind of missed something in some of the slides. What are you supplying? What is PG&E supplying to us as small businesses?
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe that's, as a contractor, we use the word supplier. So that's the terminology. Today.
So what are you contracting to us?
No,
like I said, maybe I missed something because I couldn't really see it on your when you were sharing. What are you all supplying to us as small businesses? What are you offering to us as small businesses for PG&E, from PG&E?
So for PG&E is offering the tool, but we use the terminology small and diverse suppliers because that's who we're always looking for, diverse suppliers to fill our contracts or RFPs. So it's not that we are giving that to you. We're looking for diverse suppliers for ourselves, but we want to give you, the diverse supplier, the competitive edge with the training.
And can you define to me, what do you consider diversifier?
A diverse supplier?
I can help with this, Jess. It will be mainly you being a vendor, right? You offer a product or service that PG&E may be interested in. You be a vendor of PG&E and being a diverse business, be it because you're minority owned business, you're Black, Hispanic, Latino, right? That's what a diverse could be, or you're a woman owned business, disabled. So they classify as a diverse supplier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted some clarification because when I hear a lot of terminologies and a lot of words being put out, I want to try to kind of get some clarity, but I appreciate what you guys are offering, Jess. I don't want to seem confrontational, but most people that know me online know that I ask a lot of questions.
That's okay. And I just want to say is my role, I do the technical assistant side. Our team is very broad, but I'd love to help you wherever I can. And if not, I can help direct you to get that question answered.
Okay, thank
But
you. I
think
appreciate
Leo did
it.
a great job. Thank you, Leo.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And I know we have Rose waiting, but I want to, Rose, if it's okay, we just want to go with Antonio and then Adrian for some questions.
Absolutely. We're fine. I'm not
you.
gonna take all the time. Thank you, Leo.
Antonio?
Thank you, Leo. Hello, everybody. Yes, I have a very short question. Number one, in order to become your provider for PG&E, do we need to be certified by GSA? That's number one, or PG&E has its own certification program. I'm sorry I came late, so I probably missed that part.
So no, I can't answer this question. To be a supplier to PG&E, you do not have to be certified as diverse.
What about other certifications like the community? What about any other certification, Jess?
It's not a requirement. So anyone can be a supplier to PG&E, well, under the right condition, yes.
Okay. Will you provide the information on the website where we can register as a supplier to PG&E?
So I can give you our external site that will have all the resources to that. But I don't deal with the registration or like the certification piece. I think Leo's going to talk more about becoming certified. Is that
okay? Great. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your answer.
You're welcome.
And then is it Adrian or Adrian?
Hi, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, it's Adrian. So I just had a quick question. So these PG&E TAP courses, would you recommend them for someone who's trying to start a small business or someone who's more established already?
I think it goes for both.
Okay.
Depending on, where you're at, because starting as a small business, I mean, this is going to be resourceful, but perhaps you haven't thought about going global, right? You haven't expanded that far. That would be for someone who's established, but looking for expansion.
Right.
Or if somebody is kind of their starting point, then maybe the basics, like the basics of cybersecurity or the basics of sustainability would fit that and how they could build their business from that starting point. So I think it goes to both. We didn't try to limit that at all.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, on that note, Jess, thank you very much. And yes, right, there's some takeaways of the items that you can provide and that we can share with the group for those that register. But thank you, Jess. If there's any last minute words, please let us know.
I guess, Leo, if you can provide my email address, or I'm going to put my email address in the chat, and those who were not able to get their email through the TAP LMS site, please send that over. So I'm just going to type that in the chat so everyone has it. And otherwise, thank you so much for having me. I hope you all take advantage and can join us in the community and the coffee chat.
Thank you, Jess. So all of you take advantage of the information that Jess is going to share. Please reach out if there's information that was shared that we need to share with you. In regards to the other portion of this session, Jess spoke about PG&E being a supplier, looking right for diverse suppliers. Rose is here representing WRMSDC, who's going to talk to us a little bit about some certifications that are available in some companies, big companies look for if you're interested in doing business with specific companies. And it doesn't necessarily mean that well, and I'll let Rose explain better, right? What's the benefits or the certification, who are there for? But I do want to do a quick introduction, Rose, that I received in terms of your bio, and of course, I'll let you speak more of in terms of introducing yourself. But I do want to share that Rose Davis has dedicated over 2 decades to passionately championing diverse businesses for inclusion within corporate America's purchasing and supply chain strategies. She has over 25 years of experience in supplier diversity, business development, accounting, and finance. She currently serves as the Western Regional Minority Supplier Development Council's Director of Corporate Services and Minority Business Development in Nevada. That's a mouthful. Rose is responsible for recruiting and retaining corporate members in the Nevada area and growing and developing minority business enterprises and impacting the community by supporting supplier diversity and equity and inclusion program strategies. Rose spent a vast amount of her career in the energy industry at Nevada or NV Energy, where she built and managed an award-winning supplier diversity program. So she's very familiar of building diversity program and probably what PG&E is looking to do or has done with their diversity. In 2018, Rose was appointed to the Allegiant Stadium Benefits Oversight Committee, providing oversight of the community benefits plan for Allegiant Stadium. She enjoys coaching and mentoring diverse businesses and teaching financial literacy. At a Las Vegas native, Rose received a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administrations with an emphasis in accounting from UNLV. She is also a certified management accountant. And with that, Rose, I hand it over to you.
Leo, thank you for that wonderful introduction. I consider it a blessing to be with y'all tonight. I'm standing in for Cecil Plummer. Cecil Plummer is our president and CEO of the Western Regional Minority Supplier Development Council. He's a bit under the weather, and we're trying to encourage him to let him know that he has a team that can support him so that he can get the rest that he needs so that he can be back with us 100%. So I am standing in for Cecil. I have his slide deck. We've done this presentation many a times. I am really passionate about inclusion within the supply chain. I think a lot of the things that Jess was sharing will maybe come a little clearer as I share my presentation, because my presentation aligns with corporations that have what we call business development programs or supplier diversity programs. And PG&E has an award-winning supplier diversity program. And kudos to them for everything that they do to be intentional in including everyone at the table, to at least have a seat at the table for inclusion and competing for contracts. I really want this to be informal, interactive. So as I go through the slides, if you have a question, I may not be able to see you because I'm going to share my slides. So once I share, I can't really see you. But Leo, if you see anyone that has their hand up or has a question, I'm more than happy to stop. I don't want you to try and hold all those questions to the end. So we're going to make this kind of interactive, educational. And I always say the question that's a stupid question is a question that you don't ask. So don't be afraid to ask any questions. Tony, I loved where you just jumped in there and asked your questions, because we have to be able to understand. And when you get understanding, you get wisdom. When you get wisdom, everything kind of just comes together. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen.
Sure, Rose, and I made you your co-host, so you should be able to.
Yes, thank you so much. I've got 2 screens, so if you see me looking to the side, it's because that's where my presentation is, but I'm going to try and make sure that I'm connecting with y'all as well. I'm gonna let you know who we are, what we do. Then I'm gonna talk a little bit about supplier diversity programs, because they're the engines underneath what we really are going to talk about, which is the minority business certification. A little bit about the value of being certified, and we'll end with a call to action. And that is to, if you feel like it fits you, we definitely want you to go down this journey and get certified. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and start. Let's see here. So I just want to let you know who we are as a council. We're not a standalone council. We're part of 23 councils underneath our parent company, which is the National Minority Supplier Development Council. There are councils all over the USA, in Guam and Puerto Rico. So there's 2 other councils just in California because the region is so large. And the councils run the state. So our council, the Western Regional Council, we cover Northern California, all of Nevada, which is the region I'm responsible for, and Hawaii. So if you have a business that is headquartered in any of those regions, our council would be the council that you work with in getting certified. But there's councils all over the US. The thing that we do is we want to be intentional. That's my word for 2023. It's not, things don't happen by happenstance. They happen when people are intentional about their motives, intentional about their actions. So we are intentional about advancing business opportunities for minorities. And I will explain what minorities are, because everyone uses that term minority. Everyone seems to be a minority. I will tell you the minorities that our council represents. And we want to be able to advance you, connect you to large corporations and major Fortune 500 companies who are serious about diversity, equity, and inclusion within the purchasing that they do for their organizations. So we've got 4 pillars that we pretty much hang our hat on. The first thing, of course, we do is we certify you, and I'll be talking about that in a couple of more slides. Our certification is a nationally recognized certification. I think Tony was mentioning DBE certification. There's a lot of different certifications. Our certification is nationally recognized over all the states. Some certifications like DBE certification really only fits for the state of California. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well. We do a lot of development and education and training. I call that the equipping arm of our organization. And then we connect you. That's the piece that I love because I'm a people person. We connect you for opportunities and inclusion through a lot of events that we do for buyers, bids, and contracts, a lot of private types of events that we do to build relationships. I always say that people do business with those whom they know and trust. So we try and provide an environment for you to connect with those right decision makers in order to be able to be a part of those supply chains and to get connected with the right decision maker. And then, of course, we advocate for you. As was mentioned, for the Las Vegas Raiders, I sit on the Stadium Benefits Oversight Committee to ensure the Raiders coming into our community, there is value for all the community, veterans, minorities, women. And so I'm happy to be a part of that. Who do we serve? If you look at this donut starting at the top, 1% Native American, this is the makeup of our minority business enterprises. And if you go clockwise, 16% are African Americans, 34% are Asian Pacific Islanders, 24% Asian Indian, and 25% Hispanics. So we've got a pretty diverse mix among who we serve. And those are the ethnicities. These are the minorities that we serve. And it could be male or female, irrespective of gender, but these are the ethnic minorities that we serve, that we certify. Just a little bit about our history. We're not a new organization. We've been around for over 45 years. Last year, we celebrated our 45th anniversary. And all of this happened after the civil rights movement, a lot of the unrest that happened that kind of really galvanized our country, kind of like what happened in 2020 with George Floyd's murder and everything. It re-galvanized the country, and a lot of corporations started supplier diversity programs or initiatives when they realized that a lot of the Black and brown businesses, Black and brown owners were being left behind. There was a lack of inclusion. So that's what we do. But our council, again, focuses on Northern California, Nevada, and Hawaii. Everyone talks about impact. That's the important thing for corporations. When they support us, they want to know, what is the impact? How are you impacting your communities? How are you impacting us? We directly impact when you look at labor, as businesses are being able to hire more people. Those people, you got to pay taxes for those people. So we're impacting the tax base, and we're impacting the economy, because as businesses grow and are successful and get more contracts, they're going to reach back into their own communities and hire others that look like them. So that's the impact that WRMSDC brings to the table. And then you can see over 760,000 jobs, all the revenue that our businesses produce, and the taxes that they generate. So we advocate for over 1,000 minority businesses, and we have 460 corporates in our region nationally that are aligned and affiliated with us. But the National Minority Supplier Development Council has over 1,200 corporations that are affiliated with them. So if you kind of connect the dots, I'm a numbers person, there is a lot of opportunities within the relationship building and being intentional about getting certified. This is a little bit about what our council does. I wanted to show you this because there's a lot of things that we do to get you visible, you meaning a minority business. The left side is some of the events that we have, the ones that are crossed out. We've already done those events, but we have our gala coming up where we are going to be providing awards, but it's a wonderful opportunity to connect. And then we have a special forum just for the corporates to help them strengthen and grow their supplier diversity initiatives. We have an expo in August. We have a mixer in Northern Nevada, in Reno, and then we have our holiday event in November. We do a lot of development. We have a corporate ready program, almost similar to what Jess was describing, where we help with cybersecurity. We help you build policies so that you got policies, because a lot of corporations, when you have to complete a bid package, they want to know what policies you have in place, what operational policies you have in place. So we have a corporate ready program that's open. A lot of corporations fund this through scholarships. So we have about 3 or 4 cohorts a year. And that is open to anyone, even if you're not a member, even if you're not certified yet, that corporate ready program is open to you, similarly to Justice program. And then we have a business growth accelerator program. That's for businesses that are a little bit more seasoned, have a little bit more revenues, and really, really want to grow and be able to compete for those larger contracts. We have programs for that. And then the connections that we do in that third column, we have matchmaking, virtual matchmaking that we do. So you're able to have time with 30, 40, 50 corporations that will talk to you for 10 to 15 minutes about what they're looking for. And when you register as a business for these matchmaking, they select you. So if you get an appointment, it's because they see something within your capabilities that they may need for their company for upcoming opportunities. We have open houses with other MBEs, minority business enterprises, we call them MBEs. And then the visibility that we try to give our minority businesses. We try and have a social media presence. This month, last month was Women's History Month, so we featured a lot of our minority women-owned businesses, providing them with the visibility. Almost every event we do has a digital guide, which has a directory of those diverse businesses that have signed on to be visible in the digital guide directory. We have pitch spotlights at our monthly Minority Business Input Committee. That's what that MBEIC stands for. We have those types of meetings that get you in the spotlight for the corps that come to the meetings looking for potential businesses. Any questions before we move into the certification piece? That's just what we are, what we do. Just wanted to give you that foundation, but any questions at this point? Before I get started, how many of you are currently have a certification? You're a business and you maybe have a DBE certification or maybe a disabled veteran business certification. Is there anyone that's on here that currently has a certification? Tina, are you raising your hand? No? Okay.
That's why I don't see
I
anyone.
guess-
Well,
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me do the etiquette part.
Go ahead, Tony.
okay, Miss Tony, I see you.
Okay, so my question is, being certified as a minority business enterprise at MEB, what are the opportunities? I guess that's what you're about to go into now, the opportunities that may
Yes, I
benefit
think
us?
I planted you in this meeting so you can ask that question. You just, I'm going to answer that question, Miss Tony. Thank you for asking. I call this alphabet soup because we've got WBE, which was Women Business Enterprise, MBE, which is Minority Business Enterprise. That's the certification that I'm going to be focusing and talking about tonight. But there's LGBTQBE certification, there's disadvantaged business certification, there's disabled veteran certification, there's veteran business certification, and then there's a disabled business enterprise. So there's a certification for a lot of different groups and they overlap. Like if you're a woman, Tony, you can get WBE certified, but being a minority, if you fit that, you can also get MBE certified. And so people say, well, which one do I get? What do I focus on? And I say, get in where you fit in. If you're able to be certified as a disabled veteran or a veteran and a woman and a minority, I encourage you to get all those certifications because different corporations may be focusing on different imperatives and different initiatives within their program. They may be wanting to build women business enterprises, and that might be their focus for a couple of years. So if you're able to get multiple certifications, I encourage you to do so. So we're going to lace up our shoes now and really talk about certification. But before I talk about certification, as I mentioned, the engine underneath certification is the supplier diversity programs. So Jess was talking about PG&E's Supplier Diversity Program. And that's what this program is. It's a proactive business program which encourages the use of diverse-owned business enterprises. Now, some programs are mandated, like PG&E underneath the General Order 156 for the California Public Utilities Commission. They have a mandate that they have a program and that they annually report out the benefits that their program is doing, how much they're spending with diverse businesses. So there are some organizations that have mandates. Here in Vegas, for instance, there are no mandates. So MGM Resorts International on the Strip has a program. They're not mandated. It's just part of the DNA of their culture that they want an inclusive environment. They want a supply chain that looks like the diversity of the communities that they serve. So some of them can be mandated, some of them cannot be mandated. It's just that they want to have that as part of their culture. So to make being certified beneficial, when you do your homework on those businesses that you want to do business with, when you go on their websites, you want to make sure that they have a supplier diversity program or small business development program, because those are the corporations that are going to value your certification. Does that make sense?
I'm seeing some heads nodding yes. Rose.
I'm sorry?
I'm seeing some head nodding yes.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you, Leo. So now we're going to talk about the minority business enterprise. So when you see MBE, that's what it stands for, minority business enterprise. And for any council underneath the National Minority Supplier Development Council, it's covering those 5 categories. It's covering Native American, Asian Pacific, Asian Indian, African American, and Hispanic American. That's what minority stands for our organization and all of the councils underneath our parent council. So the question that a lot of people ask is, who should get certified? Who should get certified? We certify startups. Is it value added to get certified as a startup? Well, it depends upon if you got some innovative product that's gonna be head and shoulders and really be value added for a corporation, I would say yes, as a startup, you should get certified. But the sweet spot in certification is usually businesses that have been in business for 2 years, because you kind of worked out the kinks. You got some good processes, operational efficiencies are rising. That's really the sweet spot to getting certified, but we do certify startups. You may not even have had one contract, but you can still get certified. So who should get certified? Someone that's able to increase their capacity. They want to grow. They want to add more employees. They may only have a local geographic footprint, but they may be able to have a national or regional footprint. They've got experience, like I mentioned, been in business for at least 2 years, but the owners may bring a wealth of experience to the table. You have the capacity and desire to grow. You got that grit, that stick-to-itiveness, because running a business isn't easy. And you want to be supply chain ready. Your focus is on corporate America or even governmental contracts. Those are the ones that, to me, are the best fit to getting certified. And you want more access to opportunities and contracts. Does that make sense?
Seeing folks saying yes.
All right. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the qualifications. And these are really important. and control. Some people are silent partners. They just give money, but they're not active in the day-to-day operations of the company. You have to manage and control the company. You have to own at least 51%, not just you. It could be 3 or 4 people, 3 or 4 minorities, and it doesn't have to be the same minorities. It could be a Asian and a Hispanic, but in totality, they have to own 51% of the company. And then you have to be a US citizen or a naturalized citizen. So unfortunately, right now, MSDC is not accepting the green cards. I'm hoping that will change, but that is the qualifications. And then I mentioned the ethnic minority. Now, my birth certificate has what my, it has, I think it has Negro on it, but someone that's 22, 23, I'm understanding that the birth certificates don't have your ethnicity on it. You only have to approve 25% bloodline. So if your ethnicity is not on your birth certificate, then you got to go to your parents. That would be 50%. And if it's not on your parents, then you go to your grandparents' birth certificate or death certificate for that proof, connecting those dots back to you that you have 25% bloodline within the groups that I mentioned. Does that make sense?
Are there any other options, Rose, like those DNA type of sites?
If you have none of that, ancestry.com is accepted. None of that is accepted. If you're Native American and you're on the tribal registry showing proof that you're Native American, that's accepted. If you are not able to approve your ethnicity, then they will finally accept a letter from your community saying this person is active in the Hispanic community, they're engaged in the community. We believe that they are Hispanic. That's the last resort. If you're not able to tie with any of the birth certificates of your parents and grandparents.
And let's say somebody that wasn't born here, but they got the citizenship certificate. Typically, it says for the nationality. Does that count?
Yes, that would count. We've even had business owners that were adopted and had trouble not having their birth records. But Rosemary Wetzel, who's our director of certification, she has been with our council for over 12 years. She is the queen of certification. And she is very responsive, usually within 48 hours of you emailing her, she will respond to you. So if you have any hiccups in the process of certification, you're able to reach out to, I call her RJ, but you're able to reach out to Rosemary and her team. She will either respond or someone on her team. She has certification assistants and a specialist on her team, and they will respond to you. Antonio, I see your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Rose. Thank you for your time and for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. Really appreciate it. My question is, what if the business is an LLC business, it's a partnership LLC business, which one of the partners is a citizen, is a US citizen, and the other partner is just a legal resident with a green card? Will that company be able to certify or not? Or both owners have to be citizens? Thank you.
That is an excellent question, Antonio. Now that's going to come in your operating documents. It can be two, but hopefully the person that's a US citizen will own 51% of the company. And that's why I always encourage you all to do your research before you apply. because if you apply and you get denied, you have to wait a whole year to be able to apply again for certification. So if you do your research and you find out, oh my gosh, you know, we've got to change this ownership percentage so that the person that is the US citizen or naturalized citizen owns 51%. The other person, it doesn't matter. It's just that someone has to own 51% and fit this grouping here that you see under qualifications. Excellent question.
Okay, thank you. Do you have an idea when the rules may change to allow green card owners to be part of this certification?
You know, every year we petition and ask, and I will follow up. I will take that question back to Rosemary and ask her, the group, all the directors, the certification directors among all 23 councils meet regularly. And so I will ask that question, because there are other certifications that don't have that requirement of being a naturalized or US, you know, US citizen. So this is what the application process looks like. Today is the 24th, so that 21st deadline is already gone. But what our certification team strives to do, any applications that are submitted by the 21st, they will get an in-house review. They strive to review them before the end of the month and go back, and if they're missing anything, they will email that business what they're missing. They're going to email you. They're not going to call you. They're going to email you. So the onus is on you to be responsive in checking your emails, because your application is going to sit until you respond with the information that they're asking for or the clarification that they're needing. It's going to go into an in-house review within a week. That's what I just mentioned. Then it goes to committee review within 3 to 5 weeks. Now they got a little backlog here because of the Super Bowl, because so many people wanted a piece of the pie for the Super Bowl, and for the Super Bowl to be able to even get sourced for the Super Bowl, you had to be certified. So we got a little backlog, but generally within 3 to 5 weeks, it's going to go to the committee. We have a certification committee, and they review your whole package. And while that certification committee is reviewing your package, we're hopeful that everything's okay. So we move you to the site visit. And right now with COVID and everything, it's done with a video. Before COVID, we actually came to your establishment and did the site visit, but we do it via video. It takes about an hour, and we're asking you questions that if you own, operate, and control that business, you will be able to answer those questions. And once all that happens, like right now, it's the 24th of the month, Rosemary and her team is getting ready to provide a report to the board of directors at the first of the month of those that they are recommending for certification. And then within 10 days of the board approving the report, you will get your certificate. That is the process. Now, you mentioned, there's LLCs, there's sole proprietorships, there's corporations, there's S corps, there's lots of different corporations. On the left side is general documentation that everyone's going to need. Everyone's going to need to provide their tax returns, their proof of ethnicity, citizenship, operating licenses and permits, proof of the operational. Everyone's got to provide that. Then, depending upon your legal entity, certain things would be required, like a sole proprietorship's not going to have any company minutes and that sort of thing. So then you will need to provide your bylaws, your operating agreements, because that's where we're going to find that you may own 51% of the company, but you don't control 51% of the company based upon the operating agreements. There might be some non-minorities that have a say in certain things. And so that's why all of that is required. We have on the second Tuesday of every month, we have a pre-certification webinar that anyone can attend just to understand what's required before they get started. Rosemary conducts those and she can answer any question, and she'll go through the stuff that you really want to focus on and how you want to do it. Like the description of your business. Some people don't think anything about that, but the description of your business is going to go in our database. So I always tell people, think keywords, think words that a corporation is going to be searching for when they're looking for a good or service. So it's key that you want to take some time. Now, how much does it cost? Because free people don't normally value. This is how the application costs are broken down by what we call classes. So if a business has revenues less than $1 million, to be certified is $350, but we have scholarships. So if you're class 1 and you're interested in getting certified, definitely email certification because they have scholarships that will cover your cost of certification and recertification for the first 2 years. So you don't have to take that out of your pocket. And then when you recertify, because every year you have to recertify, that cost then goes down to $250. And then you see the sliding scale based upon a company's revenue. So class 2 is really the sweet spot where corporations feel a little comfortable. Corporations feel a little uncomfortable doing business with a corporation of MBE that's a class 1 because they feel like it may be too much for them. That it may be too much, or the business may be putting all their eggs in one basket. So my role for the Nevada region is to get you to class 2 as quickly as possible. I use strategies to get you contracts and things so that you can become a class 2 MBE as quickly as possible for more opportunities. Any questions on what I've discussed so far for the certification journey? Does it make sense? Any questions?
And of course, Rose, you do have a counterpart in that hopefully can provide a similar strategy what you do in Nevada that does here for Northern California and get him to class 2.
Oh yes, you got in California, you got Cecil. Cecil is awesome. You have Cecil. You also have Michael McQuarrie, our VP of Operations, and you have Taylor Overton, who's the Director of MBE and Corporate Development. So you got a little smaller team that's really helping move. But of course, when I showed you those 1,000 MBEs, about 200 of those MBEs are located in Nevada. About 750 are in the Northern California area, and then about 50 are located in Hawaii area. So their region is bigger. They have more MBEs that they're working and championing than just the ones that I have in the Nevada region.
I see Tony
Good
has
question.
their hand raised.
Yes, Miss Tony.
Okay, I have a question because I've gone through a GPI. It's the company called GPI Legacy, where they did. I went through a certification where you get federal grants. So is this the same type of program to get MBE certified so you can get federal grants?
No,
Okay.
I mean, the focus for the MBEs or the WRMSDC, NMSDC family, it's really if you're interested in doing business with corporate America, Fortune 500 companies, corporations that I mentioned that have supplier diversity, small business development programs. That's what the certification sweet spot really is.
Okay, so I
And
guess my
Rose?
question to you would be, like, my business is real estate. So going into a corporation, because I've actually tapped into the Warriors, different because I'm into sports. I grew up as a sports growing up in sports. Well, when you tap into certain corporations, they already have, because a lot of players are governed by their agents. So we're looking to be able to tap into different corporations because we're minority and we're certified. Are these or are they offering something to us for us to say, hey, I want to go ahead and apply for this corporation because they're offering opportunities for minorities?
These corporations are intentional in wanting to have an inclusive supply chain, meaning they want vendors, suppliers, whatever you call them, that look like the community. So Las Vegas is a majority minority community right now. So those corporations here, they want to make sure that their supply chain has Hispanics, has African Americans, has Asian Americans, because that's the makeup of the community here. And so for me, when I worked at MBE Energy, which was a utility company, for 19 years, the reason why my program was successful was because I was able to connect my business case to MBE Energy. So what I would tell all of the managers that had budgets, that were buying stuff, when they asked, Rose, why should we care about this program? I said, the reason why you should care about this program, because there is a business case connected. If you are intentional on hiring and including minority-owned businesses for the goods and services that you use, they're able to hire people, pay them a living wage, not a minimum wage. If those people have income, they're more likely to pay their power bill, for one. They're more likely to buy a home, for two. Those meters are turning and the collections on unpaid power bills goes down. So there is a connection and link, probably the same for PG&E. But every organization on the Strip, they want you to have disposable income so you can go and gamble, so you can go and watch shows, so you can go and do staycations. Every company has a business case for why they have a supplier diversity program.
That just cleared up a lot. So I appreciate it. I appreciate everything you just said, because that cleared up some things in my mind. So I appreciate that.
Oh,
And
Miss
Rose.
Tony, I can go to sleep now. If
And Rose.
Tony's happy, I can go to sleep. No, I'm just kidding.
And Rose, I think it will help, right? Provide resources to our audience that perhaps are starting business, or they perhaps has a model of business that they haven't thought about on opportunities that they can take into corporates, simply because perhaps they're mainly been doing person to person, or business to person, or commercial, but not to take it into corporation. So I think it will help to provide ideas, or perhaps if there's a resource of what kind of contracts or products or services big corporations or your corporate members typically buy for.
Yes,
purchase.
Good question. Great question, Leo. I always like to teach a person how to fish versus give them a fish. Like if you go on PG&E, they're going to tell you on their site what they're looking for. If you go on Caesars Entertainment, if you go on a lot of corporations' websites that have programs, they're going to tell you the goods and services that they need. Now, I just did an event on the 13th here. It was called Business Opportunity Day. And MGM Resorts mentioned what they needed, but this is one of the things that they shared. They said every year when we look at our requirements, we always need pool cleaners. We have no minorities that are cleaning swimming pools. So you know what I told all those janitorial companies? If you know how to clean, you can figure out how to clean a swimming pool. If they're saying they have this requirement and need, and they want it to be inclusive, and there's no minorities that are clean, that are in their pool cleaning swimming pools, I would be figuring out quick, fast, and in a hurry how to clean a swimming pool for that opportunity. So, but you find those things out as you engage with our council, as you come to events and as you come to activities, and you build those relationships with those supplier diversity folks, with those procurement agents, with those operational folks. They're going to tell you what's needed, what they have need of. We had a segment in the event where it was called Fishing for Opportunities, because it was a camp theme. And various corporations came up and told the group what they had need of in the next 6 to 18 months, what they would be going out for bid, because corporations plan. So they know what they're needing in the next 6 to 18 months.
And Rose, I just posted in the meeting chat the link to see WRMSDC corporate supporting, because I know when we were in a person meeting with CISO that he was doing this presentation, some of the questions that came out were who do you work with, right? Or who's this certification good for? And that gives you an idea of.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. This was Cecil's slide deck, and I didn't get a chance, but my slide deck has logos so that you can see the corporations that are part of us. But thank you for sharing that, Leo, that you can see those. I mean, and it goes across various industries. There is hospitality, there's energy, there's technology, there's banking and finance. So it's a lot of various retail. Thank you so much, Leo, for that. And I always say that certification isn't magic. Some people say, I got certified, it didn't do anything for me. But I always tell people, if the last time I see you is when I do your site visit and I never see you again, it's probably not going to bring you value, because the value comes in striving to build relationships. It is just a tool in your toolbox, like your capability statement, like your ability to pitch the goods and service and your value proposition, like a robust website. It is a tool in your toolbox. It is not the end all be all, and contracts are not going to mysteriously fall from the sky because you're certified. I say the primary benefit of certification is the access. It's the access to getting to the right decision maker. We are connected to the supply chain. We're connected to the supplier diversity professionals, and we help navigate and get you to the right decision maker for the good or service that you need. We help connect you, we coach you, we mentor you, we scale you, we grow you. We provide you feedback so that you're better this year than you were last year. I think that's the biggest benefit of certification, is the access that it provides. So this is the end. I love Nike. They say just do it. The probability of success, I'm a numbers person, remember. Those that start this certification process within 3 days and set a goal to complete it within 21 days will have the most success in achieving. But if it's always a round to it, I'm gonna get to it, I really never do it, you'll be 2 to 3 years in and you still haven't gotten your certification. I always say it's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. And that's what was happening with the Super Bowl. Everyone was trying to get certified because I was so glad that we advocated for certification for those Super Bowl opportunities. And a lot of people had qualifications, but they did not have the certification. And that's our website. And you would click Become a Certified MBE. This is Rosemary Wetzel, the queen of certification. That is her contact information, her direct email. If you got questions, and I'm happy to share this slide deck, you can email her and she normally responds within 24 to 48 hours. Are there any additional questions that maybe didn't get answered during the process, or anything that you're maybe thinking about? Is certification for me? Do y'all think it might be for you, for the businesses that you have?
Seeing Tony shake her head.
Yes, and I appreciate you and Leo bringing this presentation on to us, because this is very enlightening. And this is something, I have a colleague that she's in Sacramento that's been telling me to do this for the last 10 or 15 years. And her name is Aretha Thompson. And I just kind of been putting it off, but now it's time. So I appreciate, Leo, you bringing this on to us. I really do.
Pleasure.
I really thank you for your feedback, Miss Tony. My mantra, my outlook is, if one person got value out of this presentation, then it was a wonderful, good thing. If one person got value, and then maybe you're able to share and tell someone else. I give kudos to your organization for wanting to be able to provide this information to your minority businesses, because it does provide access, and there is money for the scholarships to be able to get certified. So
yeah, and I know Tina hasn't said anything, but I know she I mean she's huge in our Vallejo community, and I appreciate your hard work for what you do. So I like to give homage to where it's due. So I appreciate you all for taking this time. I know it's late, but I do appreciate it, because I will take full advantage of it.
Rose, may I ask you a question?
Go ahead,
oh
Frederick.
yes, Frederick. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. The business that I have developed is strictly an online business, and I was wondering whether and it's in the social media realm and other avenues of advertising,
Mm,
and I just wondered whether you thought that certification would be beneficial. I was at one point, I did do the certification with Supplier Gateway, if you're familiar
mm-hmm,
with that particular
mm-hmm.
company. And I have been connected with Buy Black, BY Black. Are you familiar with that organization? With the
No,
I
I'm
think it's
not.
the
I'm
Black.
familiar with Gateway, but not by Black. No.
Yeah, they're part of the I think it's the African American or Black National Chamber of Commerce that's in DC.
Oh,
But
okay.
what I have to offer is, and this is from personal experience, I offer a service where people are able to uh, look into their own personal stewardship, to know what to do in the event of losing a loved one, what to do the first 72 hours and so forth, and to be able to set things up so that families don't have an emotional tug of war. No, they wanted this, no, they wanted that. And how often have we seen in communities, especially in the Black and minority communities, when someone that's a celebrity passes away and folks don't even know if there's a will somewhere? So these are the kinds of things that came up in our family, and I didn't want to add stress on top of bereavement. So it's a plan where people can kind of get their house in order and have things set up. And if a person is living and working outside our country, serving our country, maybe in the military on the other side of the world, then families have access to important information, family business information, like where's the grant deed to the house and so on and so forth, should those kind of things come up. So I didn't know whether that type of business that I do have would benefit from the type of certification that you have shared with us. I just wasn't sure since the online program is established.
I would answer that. A lot of times you have to help organizations connect the dots. Like, for example, there was this African American business, and she sold hair weaves, and she had them where people could go. It was like a vending machine type hair weave. And when she approached Supply Diversity, they just couldn't figure out how this would work for the hospitality industry, because she approached MGM Resorts. But she just felt that there was a value to it. She just kept going to get to the right person. She got to the VP of retail. The VP of retail got excited, like, oh my gosh, this will be great. People will come to Vegas, they want to get their hair done. They can go here, get their hair, and then, go to our salon and get their hair done. So the VP of retail got really, really excited. So I would say that to say, Frederick, if you're able to connect your own dots and help them see the value, I could see the value under HR for benefits, to be able to provide this to employees. So sometimes you have to know you're good at service, good enough to help them know the value and where it would fit their company.
Certainly. Thank you so much for that. And we appreciate your time and your expertise, because we are all students in this realm.
You're so welcome. Any other questions? Oh, these are great questions. These are really good questions, because you know what? I always tell people, time is something that you can't get back. So nobody wants to waste time doing this application and it doesn't merit anything. But with everything, you have to have a plan for it. You have to choose 3 to 4 companies that you feel that you can bring value to, and align yourself with your certification to build a relationship. WWT is a large Black-owned business. They have 12 billion with a B in revenue. They've been knocking at the door of MGM for 10 years. 10 years trying to do business with MGM. This year, they finally got a contract. So sometimes you got to be persistent, but patient. But let me tell you, once they got into MGM, they're in. They are in, but sometimes it takes time. And you have to realize that somebody has a contract, the timing might not be right, the wrong person is in the position, but when everything lines up and you're ready to move forward, it's just beautiful. I really appreciate the time this evening. Leo, I thank you for accepting me. I know you've heard Cecil, and he is amazing. So for me to be able to stand in for Cecil and have him get rest, I was honored to do it, honored to spend time with y'all this evening. I put my contact information in the chat if anyone has anything specific for me. And Leo, I'm happy to send you this slide deck because it has Rosemary's contact information. And sometimes it's not, I guess because I'm analytical, I read through stuff, I put it underneath my pillow, I wake up and I just get all of these insights in the morning. So I like to read good stuff before I go to sleep.
And exactly, Rose, right? Perhaps these there's some folks that may not be connecting the dots on how this could be an opportunity, but perhaps tomorrow they wake up, oh, that's how I can pursue this certification. So Rosemary could be a great resource to go and ask questions based on the idea that you had or proposal. See, the certification will help. Well,
Yes.
looks like I'm not seeing any other questions or hand raised. So I would like to definitely appreciate everyone for attending. We are recording this session, so we'll be sharing it. And Rose, again, we appreciate your time being here with us, and of course WRMSDC to be able to make this happen in connecting you with us for this presentation.
You are so welcome. And I'm in the Bay Area about 5 times out of the year. Like I'll be there in a couple of weeks for our gala, and I'll be back for the expo and different things, you know, to support Cecil if he's got double engagements and things. So I'm not just all Nevada, but that is the region that I am intentional about championing and building up, but growing and helping and mentoring and coming alongside any business. I'm very happy to do that.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you, everyone. And well, we'll give you some time back. We appreciate you being here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rose.
All right,
Thank you all. I can drop off so you guys can properly close your meeting, Leo. You don't have to. Let me drop off so you guys can close your meeting, and I'll send you the slide deck.
Oh, no worries. Everyone was attending specifically to listen to you. They don't want to listen to me.
Thank you all. Have a
All right.
wonderful, blessed night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.